And US Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has accused former President Barack Obama and top members of his administration of orchestrating a treasonous conspiracy to undermine Donald Trump's 2016 election victory. Gabbard released newly declassified documents claiming Obama's national security team politicized intelligence on Russian interference to discredit Trump. She named many prominent Obama-era officials, including James Clapper, John Brennan and James Comey, and called for a full criminal investigation. According to the report, intelligence before and after the election suggested Russia likely wasn't trying to alter the outcome through cyber means. The report also claims that following a White House meeting in December, Obama officials shifted their public messaging by relying on still unverified intelligence to suggest that Russian interference had affected the election's results. American intelligence agencies and bipartisan probes have found no evidence that votes were changed or intelligence was fabricated. Well, Ross, thank you for staying with us. Tulsi Gabbard, of course, making some very strong statements here relating to Barack Obama and his top officials. Of course, at the 2016 election, the 2020 election, we know what happened with the Capitol riots as well. Is the American political system, the voting system, and politics as a whole being thrown into murky water here, given these allegations that have been made, given what we saw in those Capitol riots? Where is this placing American politics and trust amongst American politics?
It's pretty clear that for a long time to come, Americans, regardless of which side they are of the political divide they are on, they're going to be litigating and relitigating the 2016 and 2020 elections. We have a change of administrations. We went from Obama, who ended in January 2017, to 4 years of a Trump administration, to 4 years of a Biden administration, now back to 4 years of a Trump administration. And it's clear that the senior leadership in these different administrations are going to put a very different color on what transpired in their predecessors' administration, both for domestic policy as well as for foreign policy. And one of the most heated topics of discussion is the 2016 and 2020 election. I think we're going to continue to see the Trump administration conduct investigations of the 2016 and 2020 election. There's been referrals from the intelligence community to the Justice Department for a possible criminal prosecution of Obama-era officials as well. That might happen with Biden-era officials going forward. I think we're just at the start of a very long path here when it comes to litigating and relitigating what transpired in 2016 and 2020. And there's this core question of what did Russia do or not do to interfere in the 2016 election, which clearly people have a very different view on.
Yes, of course, and there are polarising views on both sides of the political spectrum in America. But Ross, I want to look specifically now at what Tulsi Gabbard has said. In your opinion, is this a reach, or could there be a real criminal prosecution against Barack Obama and his top officials? And what ramifications could that have moving forward towards potentially the end of Trump's term and a blight maybe on the Democrat Party?
There's been talk about criminal prosecutions. I think it's still very early days in that process. Again, it's been referred to the Justice Department, and the Justice Department would have to find evidence of an actual crime. Partisanship is not a crime. Even, unfortunately, incompetence is not necessarily a crime either. But some of these issues have been looked at multiple times, again, across the past few administrations. There's also been an independent, what we call in America, Inspector General reports of some of these issues, which did not find reason for criminal charges. There was also a bipartisan report issued by the Senate Intelligence Committee in August of 2020. Ironically, the acting chairman of the Intelligence Committee at the time was Senator Marco Rubio, who's now the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor. And that report from the Republican-led Senate Intelligence Committee did determine that Russia tried to interfere in the 2016 election and to sow division among Americans with the goal of helping President Trump win. Now, they didn't find that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia, but they did find that Russia interfered in the 2016 election. So I think it's been established that Russia did that. Again, other issues like partisanship or incompetence might be something that the Trump administration will focus on going forward with regard to those investigations. But finding evidence of criminal behavior is going to be very difficult.
Ross Feingold, as always, thank you ever so much for taking the time to join us on those important matters. We will continue to bring you developments after those comments from Tulsi.